Hey everyone, it's Naked here. With Deadlock popping off again and having a lot of newer slash returning players, I felt it would be a good idea to release a guide on movement. Movement in Deadlock is one of, if not the most important mechanic in the game. If you really want to climb and improve at the game, learning how to do some of the basic and even the more advanced movement techniques in the game seems mandatory. As a disclaimer, I know I'm not the best movement player in the game, but I would like to think that I'm decent enough to be able to show most of the techniques in the game. This video will also be covering the general movement in the game and not hero specific movement. On screen in the bottom, I have a keyboard input overlay that will let you see my key inputs while doing the movements. Let's jump into it. To start, I will not be covering things like dashing, dash jumping, double jumping, sliding, as these are the most basic fundamentals of movement in Deadlock and most players should have a basic understanding of how to do these. So now let's talk about dash buckets. Dash buckets is basically how Valve categorizes heroes on how fast they dash. Note that this doesn't affect distance, just time taken to get there. We have three different categories of buckets. The first bucket heroes have a plus 5% dash speed. Second bucket heroes have a negative 5% dash speed. And the third bucket heroes have a negative 10% dash speed. Now let's talk about some movement tech, starting off with air strafing. Air strafing is pretty straightforward tech that allows you to control your air movement a little better. To air strafe, what you have to do is let go of the forward key and use the left and right key while turning your camera. This will cause your character to kind of move in that direction while in the air. Another thing I want to touch on in this video is using heavy melee to help you bridge the gap in the air. When you heavy melee in the air, it stops your momentum, but it still moves you in the direction you are meleeing, which can help you get to the ledge if you're out of dashes and jumps. Next up is mantle sliding. Mantle sliding is when you mantle on a ledge and you hold down your crouch key and you perform a slide after mantling. This is very useful for gaining speed out of a mantle and can let you widen the gap when you are being chased. Next up, we have bunny hopping. This term should be pretty familiar to most everyone, but for those who don't know what bunny hopping is, it's just jumping as you're about to hit the ground from a previous jump to let you maintain momentum. This can be used to traverse the map faster. Let's talk about wall jumping. Wall jumping is fairly simple tech to do, but has a lot of potential. To wall jump, all you have to do is be next to a wall and jump while you're in the air. If you hit a direction key that's towards the wall you are jumping off of, you will go straight up and not to the side. While hitting a direction key opposite of the wall, you'll get sent out further and not up as high. You can chain multiple wall jumps, but as you chain multiple wall jumps, you will start to slow down a lot. Now there are other things you can do with wall jumping. First is fast climb, which can save you a stamina by wall jumping while holding the direction key that faces the wall into a mantle rather than just a jump mantle. Another thing you can do with wall jumping is corner boosting. This tech is done by wall jumping at a precise point on a ledge or corner of an object to get extra height, which can allow you to save stamina and reach places from angles you normally wouldn't unless you use movement abilities or items. Now, this last tech I'm going to talk about is probably one of the most important techs and something I don't think many people know to do. This will allow you to maintain momentum when coming off zip lines. So there are two ways to get off the zip lines, by either hitting your jump button or your crouch button. Almost never be using your jump button to get off the zip lines. There are some techs that do use the jump button to get off zip lines, but I won't be talking about that in this video. Using the crouch button will allow you to maintain all your momentum coming off the zip line, which will increase your speed as you're getting off the line. Something to be aware of with this tech is that you can use strafe dashing to maintain the momentum, then you can add an air jump to go even further than just forward dashing. All you have to do to strafe dash is just dash sideways by holding A or D and looking sideways of where you want to go instead of just holding W and dashing forwards. There are a few characters that can cast abilities with while maintaining this momentum, which can let them fly into lane with abilities ready to go, such as Billy's Bashdown, Dynamo's Black Hole, Yamato's Power Slash as a few examples. But I'll talk more about this in a later video. And so there you have it. This is what I would consider a pretty good basic to bordering advanced movement tech guide on how to really get good at movement. I recommend loading into the Explore NYC mode and just practice moving on the map. You can also just keep playing the game and try to incorporate things into your gameplay. Now I've only showed a few of the many movement techs in the game. If people are interested, I can go way more in depth on other movement techs and hero slash item specific movement techs in the future. The next video I'll be doing will be showcasing a lot of these techs used in conjunction to show how to move around the map and also showcase movement routes that I use nearly every time I play Deadlock. If you guys are curious about all the other movement tech in the game, I highly recommend checking out the Deadlock Movement Wiki. There will be a link for it in the description. This wiki has documented almost all the movement tech in the game and is a great resource to use if you're trying to master movement in Deadlock. Thank you guys for watching. I stream nearly every day over at twitch.tv/nkd_dl, as well as now I'm streaming here on YouTube. As always, like and subscribe and leave a comment on any questions about the video. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace!